Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Relationship Talks. I'm your host, Laurie Brooke, and together we will get to take a look at what goes on behind closed doors. Today, I wanted to talk to you about entitlement. Thank you so much for joining me on this week's episode of Relationship Talks. I'm your host, Laurie Brooke. And together today, I wanted to look at entitlement when it comes to relationships. Entitlement and the expectation of receiving something in a relationship is fraught with danger. Our relationships are made up of our ability to have this relationship of give and take, where we can give and we can support each other as we need it, and then take at the same time. But what happens is that some people feel that they need to receive as much as they give, or even a little bit more. And that's one of the areas that I wanted to talk about, because entitlement means that you're only giving with the expectation of receiving, that you're only going to make that effort because the other person needs to make that same effort back. It's almost like going back to raising toddlers, raising little children, where you've got them all lined up, you've got all their cups next to each other, and you're pouring in their drinks, and you have to make sure that they have the exact same amount across all the cups, because you don't want the other one to think that somebody else got a little bit more than them, because they'll get upset. And when you're raising small children, that's one of the life lessons that they need to learn, right? That yes, everyone gets the same amount, but sometimes people may get more than them, and that's okay. And the same goes in our relationships. That is, at times we may have to give more. We may have to put in more effort. We may have to support and uphold the other person more. We don't always need to receive and get back exactly what we've put in right then and there. We're just going to take a quick break now, so don't go anywhere. Make sure you stick around and join us for the rest of our conversation. If you haven't already, make sure you grab a copy of my ebook, It's Time to Stop the Overwhelm, giving you practical and actionable tips that you can implement right away to create happier and healthier relationships. What happens is when there is this expectation of entitlement, it can lead to feelings of resentment and jealousy and unfairness. It can make us feel hard done by, because we expect, or we feel that we're entitled to the same that we've given. But life isn't that black and white. Life doesn't kind of throw events at us in equal rounds. Entitlement in a relationship is a bit like saying, I'm going to go out tonight, so next week you can. Or I'll stay home and look after the kids tonight, but tomorrow night you need to stay home and look after the kids. Or I will do this for you, but I want you to do this back for me. Or do you remember last week how I cooked dinner 3 nights that week? Well, this week I want you to cook dinner 3 nights. It's that constant keeping score, the constant one for you, one for me scenario. And as much as that might seem fair, and that might seem like the right way to carry your relationship. It's unrealistic, because every now and again we will go through events in our lifetime where we need that little bit extra support. We need someone to kind of hold us up for that little bit longer. But we won't always need that. We won't always need to be propped up. Sometimes we will have to do the propping up. The same goes in our friendships, in our professional relationships. It is all a matter of being in these relationships because we want to support, we want to create these relationships that are both fulfilling for us, but for other people as well. And when we've got that, that's when we've got a relationship that's created on goodwill, that's created on the ability to give and take as is needed, that we've got the ability to be there for other people, not just because we are expected to be there, but because we want to be there. And that's what happy, healthy, fulfilling relationships are all about. Don't go away. I will be right back finishing the conversation just after this. If you are looking for ways to improve, enhance, and take your relationship to the next level, make sure you check out our online program, Improving Your Relationships. Don't stay where you are. Do the work, create your own happiness, and move forward with happier and healthier relationships. You know, in our professional relationships, we have entitlements in our jobs, in our careers, in our professions. And we have the ability to claim what we are entitled to. We don't necessarily have that same ability in our personal relationships. There's no HR department that's going to pay us for overtime. There's no HR department that's going to say, well, you worked an extra 6 hours this week, so you can take 6 hours off next week. We don't get that. We have to do that for each other. So when you're in a relationship, stop keeping score. Stop looking at it from I did this for you, so you need to do that back for me. And just be there. Give support as is needed. When we can give support to each other, we can create relationships that are going to be healthier, they're going to be more meaningful, and they're going to last longer. Remember, the choice is yours. Make today and every day the very best it can be. Bye for now. And thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Relationship Talks. If you can, I would love for you to jump on and leave a review. And whilst you are at it, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please join me again next week when we get to take a look behind closed doors at someone else's relationship. But until then, I am your host, Laurie Brooke, and remember, the choice is yours, so make today and the week the very best it can be.